earlier, more important when you have a situation where the students may sort of pack together and then go and get a company to do something from which, right, the main company can source in, can outsource services to them, right? So we need more of this kind of activity, or rather to be done by the students, by the graduates. Yeah? So we have more of these vendors there, and UTHM, we are working. We have something like we have not exactly a formal training, but we built. We are working. We have something like not exactly a formal training, but we built.
Presenting, you want to add on? Okay. Before we move to the second question, alright, I have a question from the viewer, from Ismail. If we do implement the automation in future, how we will overcome the issue of job if that will not sufficient due to the job loss, and also the increase of human population in Malaysia. I open up to anyone to maybe that from the increase of industry in Malaysia. How when you start doing your automation? Okay, Amir.
I'll take that. So I think one point that I wanted to make clear is that automation is inevitable. Right?
Okay.
This is part and parcel of how we see the future. Inevitably, a lot of jobs that we know now will be replaced by automation, artificial intelligence, etc. And this has been the case throughout human history. Right? When we had the agricultural revolution, we had machines replace farmers. And when we had the industrial revolution, we had factory robots replace humans. It's the same thing, right? With IR 4.0, it's the same thing. Robots and automation have inevitably take up jobs that were typically done by humans. But I think the biggest question here is that, okay, so now we know that this is inevitable. What do we do now? So the big thing is that a lot of jobs that we know exist now will have to be rethought about the shape and form in the next couple of years, in the next 5-10 years, whatever. Right? For example, my job, for example, as a head of investment, for example, head of strategy investment, may be replaced moving forward by an algorithm. For example, if let's say that is proof of value that artificial intelligence can make better financial decisions than humans, then perhaps my job will be replaced. But I guess the biggest question is what am I going to do about it? Now that I know that there is going to be, that headway of maybe another 5, 10, 20 years, right? Depending on which view you subscribe to. I guess this is going back to Prof point about lifelong learning, right? And university give you some level of that in terms of the subject matter that you whatever, whether it's chemical engineering or robotics or life sciences, economics, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's the people need to be able to understand how to learn and unlearn new things. As technology develops really fast. How to learn and unlearn new things. Technology develops really fast. How to learn and unlearn new things. Technology develops really fast. With increasing population. So I guess this automation, this move to automation needs to also be aligned to the readiness of talent, increasing population. That so when there is a disconnect between automation and also the readiness of talent, increasing population. That so when there is a disconnect between technology giants have done is they import the readiness, right? So for example, in the US, for example, they do have a lot of talent in the technology space. But at the end of the day, they still outsource a lot of the legwork to India, to China, for example, right? The actual coding of stuff is outsourced to other countries because they believe that internally in the US, they want to focus on the more higher order thinking stuff, right? So for example, your iPhone that you own is designed in the US. It's specifically said on the box. It's designed in the US, but it's manufactured in China, right? Because at the end of the day, the people that are in the US focus on the higher order stuff, and then they outsource. Again, this is a strategy. I'm not saying whether it's a right strategy or not, but it is a strategy that works for Apple, right? So I think again, this is if let's say there is not enough talent, like I said, there's a disconnect between how fast the technology moves and the readiness of people. There are a few options, right? So importing talent is one of them, but importing is expensive, right? So the best way really for a sustainable pipeline of talent is in-house, right? This is where I believe, I agree with Prof that some of these really need to be ingrained with our own talent pipeline. This is where I think universities, institutions of higher learning, even going back to schools, have a bigger role to play in prepping the talent of the future, and not just of higher learning, even going industry ready, have a bigger role to play for lifelong learning, because it's inevitable that you have to and not just relearn things, skill upskill as we go along. Have a bigger role in the 40, 50 years of a person's career. And not just relearn things, if you were trained as a banker, you will retire in the 40, 50 years. I think it's this career. This day and age, and not just industry moving. I think if you were trained as a banker, you will retire at 50 years. I think it's because you have this day and age, because you have upskilled and reskilled as you go along. So I think I'll stop there. I think it's good because you have this day and age, because you have upskilled and reskilled as you go along.
My personal view, when the job being optimized, one job considered one job lost, and the only view will be another new job born. There's a new sectors around that. Any other panel that want to add on to the question as well as the answer?
Just like to add on a little bit on also what Amir said. You see, the question was, he was worried about automation and the population is growing. Again, like I agree with Amir, automation is inevitable with technology. So the same thing also, Amir says, technology gets outdated very fast. 6 months, 3 months, you never know how fast. Look at your handphones, for example. But don't, to whoever asked the question just now, don't be too worried about what job is available when you leave university. Okay, 10, 15 years ago, well, actually 10 to 15 years ago, everyone was talking about social media management, social media marketing. But if you ask someone 20 years ago, what is social media? That thing didn't exist. So don't be too worried about whether the job will be available for me, whether it won't be available. Like you also mentioned, jobs itself will evolve. When one door closes, another door will open. Okay, I give you an experience from my own personal experience. My ex-boss, he was the Minister of Transport. But before he was a Minister of Transport, before he was a Member of Parliament, he was also a press secretary. So I did some of the roles of a press secretary, and he asked me, "You guys have it harder than I did. Now information is available at your fingertips. If I text you, you respond immediately. Social media, you have to be very important with what we say." So that's just a gap of 10 to 15 years. Now it moves faster, but don't be too worried that when one job becomes obsolete, more jobs will open up. At the same time, you talk about he asked about the increasing world population and all that. New things will come, new jobs that didn't exist today will suddenly become the norm tomorrow. So this is where again it comes down to industry and learning institutions need to work together to shape talent to be more well-rounded, to be more what would I say it? To be more to be an all-rounder in the sense that anything can happen. Like Amir said, you can graduate as a banker, you can start your career as a banker, but you finish as an engineer. It's nowadays the workplace, your job is very dynamic. So to who asked the question just now, don't be too worried about that. Jobs will come. Yes, it will get more competitive. Yes, there will be more automation. You cannot deny that. But there will be jobs. It's just that sometimes don't worry too much because the job that you might be doing tomorrow does not exist yet today.
True.
Jeff, you done?
Yeah, I'm done, please.
Okay. All right. I just want to add something about this question. Basically, yes, Jeff, Amir had addressed this very well. Yes, we need to work concurrently between the higher learning institution and also the industry. But on the industry point of view, I'm quite interested with what had been mentioned by Prof. Ibrahim just now, or about the entrepreneurship. Okay, so yeah, the technology had moving very fast. Every 6 months it can be changed. Okay, but the thing is, we have a lack of the entrepreneurs, of the person that able to create the high value industry in the market. Okay, there's I'm feeling that there's need to close the gap. Okay, beside higher learning institution, the industry also must brave enough to involve in the high tech industry, the high value industry, so that this I can say the young graduate, when they embark into the industry, we can slowly train them with the current technology, and hopefully we can able to prosper our economy going towards the high tech technology industry. So beside this creating the high value industry, we need some sort of person, or I can say the community that support each others. Okay, we need to brave enough. Okay, we need to able to explore new things. We need to learn every day. Every day is new things. We need to keep reading what happening around the globe. Okay, so that we can be updated, and of course, I don't know, this is too much, but we need also to what we call it, eliminate the red tape on the government level. I mean, to prosper all the high-tech industry, to make it easy for the industry to adapt or adopt a new technology industry. So that is the things that I want to add.
Okay. Thanks, Engineer Abdul Rahman. Let's say we are moving on to the next question. As a pandemic also, highlighted how the vital part of the future resilience will be brokering into of the talent, and this is also taking a broader view of the skill reside, the view of the what skill are required. As per talent trend data reveal that even before the crisis, employee as well as the HR differ over the what skill are and will be relevant. So this was like we were discussing. We really can see from the World Economic Forum that they keep posting what will be the future skill. Innovation was top of the employees list as a hot skill for 2020 until 2025. And these are also that reinventing that many acknowledge that the stick yard needed to the change as well as a response to the future. Now, in any crisis or even COVID-19, we really can say that COVID or even before the economic crisis that we had it earlier, had promoted for change. It trapped the lower productivity as also declined margin. Many business models struggle to create a space for innovation, leaving employee frustrated. Everything was being squeezed up, everything. Organizations respond to the pandemic as both extraordinary cross-industry collaborations. This is also including the industry academic collaboration that is also that booms up. Um, some even say that the digital skill, design thinking, entrepreneurship, and innovation will be a crucial skill of the post-pandemic. And the challenge will be to sustain the quickly constructed structure and cultural infrastructure to foresee the truth of ingenuity. Now, to maintain the momentum of a change that COVID has brought, unwittingly, that it is a table, um, a change to focus the skill and enable us to build a better, to build back our ground. Now, with this, I would like to ask the panel some of the tips, especially for the current undergrad or the young professional or whoever that unemployed, retrenched, and all that. That how to embrace the new norm and how they can develop, to be fit into the current situations. Anyone can start.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm dealing a lot with the freelancing. So this is some tips. Okay, freelancing people. We are creating a job based on demand. Okay. I believe our graduate is not too bad. They are skillful. Okay. The thing is, the opportunity is not there. In order for them to uplift their skills into industry. So there is a lot of platform currently that available in the market for you to project yourself in the freelancing activities. It's quite good. It's quite a good start for the young graduate to adapt this new norm. Start with the freelancing because to be honest, it's quite challenging right now on job market. Yes, Jeff said. Don't worry about the job loss, everything. But I believe this is what happened in our fresh graduate. They are very worried after they graduate. What will be what will happen to them? Is it they can secure a job? Is it they can contribute, or by then they become a food panda rider, for example, even though they are engineers. But again, for me, we should not waste the skills that they already developed in universities. I believe our university is quite good because. I have dealing with some of from the local university and from overseas university doing the freelancing job. Basically, they're able to adapt very fast. Maybe they are tech savvy, so that they are very quite familiar with the current software. So thanks to the universities, some universities have provided a very good talent development to our young graduates. I just want to add a little bit more on the healthcare and healthcare industry. In healthcare industry, the main things that we are doing in our industry is first we are doing the R&D. I give you for example like vaccine right now. They are full with R&D. We need to do clinical testing. We need to develop the formula whatsoever. It's very hard to say that the researcher can do the what we call it freelancing. So this is where the collaboration effort need to be done between the industry and also the higher learning institution. So from here, I believe maybe again our higher learning institution can do some sort of collaboration of providing the freelancing to do the R&D activities with the industry. The second one in the medical device industry or healthcare industry, we cannot run away from the design and manufacturing because especially in Recove Group Berhad, we are manufacturing the medical device. So manufacturing, we still need to have a talent, especially on nowadays, they are more demanding on the more ergonomic design, more feasible design, feasible to manufacture design so that we can reduce the waste. So of course, this kind of talent, currently the trend I can say because of the business are going to do some sort cost-cutting initiative, the freelancing is quite good platform for our graduate to start with, And also currently I believe all the young graduates well known in the social media. We are selling things and do our marketing using the influencing people to market our product so that they can create a job that maybe some of them, even though they are engineers, they are very good in video editing, can start looking a job that can edit the video, do some sort of copywriting. This is what the new norm that I can say our fresh graduate to adapt to. So Selvan, that is from my
Okay.
short perspective.
But on top of what you're saying, that I'm hearing a lot of freelancing, the word freelancing. Now, in the Malaysians or young graduates mindset, how do we instill this particular, it's okay to take freelancing job, that we are committed, that no, once you finish the graduating, we must go and get a job that is, have an office, you have a factory, that you have an institution, that, how do we set this mindset, it's okay to have freelancing job, how do we promote this?
Um, I do collaborate with some universities that we some sort, I can say, promote, saying that since they are still learning in the our universities level, we already asking, hey, doctor or professor, do you have your good talents in your university to do a coding, for example, so that we have some sort of agreement saying that okay, this is the rate per hours that we will pay, so that they need to create a enterprise company, or proprietorship company in universities. Then they start doing this small job, and then this is the things that we are trying to start with our universities. So when they're able to go along with this process, I believe that they are more comfortable when they already graduated from university, because they know how to deal. They know how to do it correctly. How they know how they can able to rate themselves, based on their experience that they already have during the universities. So this is what I believe we can start with the universities, or whoever institution, whatever institution in our country. We need to have some sort of platform and promote it, and we start in small scale, and hopefully we can create a bigger scale later on.
Great. And
Yeah.
for the viewers, whoever that have a questions, please post it in the and so that we can capture your questions, and we'll ask the panel to answer. All right, next, move on with the other panel on the tips for the current undergraduate as well as the professionals, young professionals.
I think, if I may, I think I don't think that it is fair to put undue pressure on institutions of higher learning to make sure that talent is what I call market ready, right? So I think the role of, again, I did mention earlier on that I think institutions of higher learning, universities, can play a bigger role, but I think the context here is really preparing students to be able to be adaptable and continuously unlearn and relearn things. To put the onus on institutions of higher learning and also in universities to make sure that talent is market ready, I don't think is the right thing to do lah. I think personally, because at the end of the day, a lot of access to knowledge at the moment was is something that a lot of the previous generations did not have access to. It's a luxury to have the explosion of knowledge in our fingertips. Even before you finish your business degree, you can start a business already because you have undergone, a Coursera course or a Udemy course, right? Or a masterclass by Bob Iger, for example, right? And all these things are available, freely available. Some of them, of course, you have to pay, but small fee, as compared to what you have to undergo before, perhaps 10, 20 years ago, or maybe 30, 40 years ago, for example. It's just knowledge is everywhere. And I think the onus is really on the individual itself to really harness all this knowledge to make sure that they are marketable. And at the end of the day, what do employers want to see, right? Employers, of course, want to see, okay, this is your pedigree. You have gone to a certain university, etc., prestigious. You've got your score, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, employees also want to see a well-rounded individual that is in touch with current issues, for example, has some level of depth in terms of certain topics. For example, if as we're talking about the movement of industry towards digitalization, etc., I think there is some expectation that at least you know what Internet of Things is, for example. Or it is to some, no need to be like super deep, but at least you understand some of the basic applications that some of this stuff do. Artificial intelligence, are you pro or against, the liberalization of AI, for example? Certain topics like this, right? And employees want to see that. And how do you do that is really because of the onus of the individual to really expose themselves to this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that it is hard to do so. It is very easy. It's all at the end of the day. It's on your phone, right? It's the whole world is in your pocket. So I think as a tip for younger professionals university students and younger professionals who are just about to embark on your career, you know, if you don't want to listen to anybody else, perhaps my own experience, for example, and Jeff knows this. I went to university with Jeff. So I started off, and Jeff, please do confirm this. I did a bachelor's in medical bioscience, right? Life sciences, right? And then I did a master's in business. I went to work for a sovereign wealth fund doing investments, and now I'm in a drone company doing technology. So it's like, my life has been a series of pivots. And how did I do that? Is really I had to learn and unlearn a lot of new stuff. And I think this is really the trajectory of how talent is going to be moving forward. Like I said just now, and I do attest by what I say is really, you may start off your career as a banker or whatever, but you may have a different end goal as started. So I think it's really the adaptability here. It plays a big role. Be adaptable.
Yes, Amir. One more thing that I want to stress from what you are saying is the word collaborations. So the collaborations is between the stakeholders is need to be between industry, academia, as well as the particular person that who is involved. So particular talent itself. So this will be like a three angle kind of a collaboration, and also that this is supposed to be like supported by the government itself, that where giving a projection that where the direction of the country is moving, as well as the industry. So I believe that collaboration will be, I mean, it's already been established, as well as I think that moving forward, more collaborations, or more working from industry to academia will be taking place. I believe on
Of
that.
course, yeah, of course.
Next,
If I
okay,
may,
Jeff.
if I may step in, okay. My advice to the uni students who are ready, looking for a job, they'll be graduating in the next 1 year or so, or even in the next few months. Okay, my advice is very simple. Don't limit your learning. Be open-minded, because when you build your walls around what you know and you refuse to climb over these walls, it limits your marketability when it comes to the workplace. Like, for example, I've met in my line of work, I've met a guy, he has a master's in engineering, and he came to our walk-in interview to apply for to be a ramp agent. So a ramp agent in our line of business is the one that load bags or cargo onto the aircraft. And I asked him, you have a master's in engineering, why did you come here? Why do you apply for this job? He says, look, I really love aviation, but I don't want to do aviation engineering. I couldn't be a pilot. I wear glasses. This is the closest that I can be to aviation. And I think it doesn't limit my capabilities. And true enough, when he was hired and we found out his background, more in depth about his background, we started giving him little projects to grow and bring strength to strength at the workplace. So So don't limit, don't limit your knowledge. Also don't limit the opportunities that might arise, because you never know. So again, Selvan, the other thing, you and I, we both were at Talent Corp at the same time.
Yep.
And we talk about soft skills a lot back then. And as cliche as it may sound, it's actually very important, because in my line of work, I've also met graduates who are extremely book smart. They have 4 flat CGPAs and whatnot, but they don't know how to bring their ideas out. They don't know how to talk in that sense. So if my other advice to students is also, if you have the chance, public speaking helps. Try and talk to, take the initiative to approach some people, to approach experienced professionals. Ask them for advice, ask them for tips, because everyone has different experiences, and it doesn't matter what you studied, what you graduated in. To me, what's important in the graduate is your willingness to adapt and your willingness to learn. And again, like Amir said just now, also, we both graduated from Monash about the same time. We also did our postgraduate together in Australia. So Amir came from life sciences, and we did a course for extra credit. We did marketing. Amir, do you remember that?
Yep.
And he coming from a science stream and doing a full-on business subject, and it was quite an intense course. It was a bit of a shock, but what he didn't know, he asked me. What I didn't know, I asked him. And by having that communication and conversation, we actually scored very, very well for that paper. I think we scored a 24/25 just for our assignment. So it was very rare. But I believe that when Amir from a different field, myself from a different field, when there's communication and conversation and that willingness to learn and understand from different point of views, that's actually what's going to help you in the workplace.
Okay. Last but not thanks, Jeffrey. Last but not least, Prof. Ibrahim.
Okay. Being the last, it's not so pleasant, I guess. You don't have a lot of idea. A whole lot of the good suggestions have been given by all the fellow panel. Maybe I would like to touch on one thing. Coming back to the point where Engineer Abdul Rahman was saying earlier, the high level or high value entrepreneurship, right? This is where I would probably like to sort of recommend the current graduates. Yeah, you may want to consider doing postgrad. Yeah, postgrad on the area where you just have to make sure when you do postgrad, it must be the area that you have passion, right? Because if you have passions, you will explore it, not just for the sake of doing the project or the research, but also for the sake of fulfilling your desire of knowledge. Yeah? That will take you very long and very deep. And while at the same time, of course, you need to also build around the perspective around the area that you do, so that you understand how does the world or the business revolve around what you do. Yeah, and that will actually help you to take on higher in terms of going to the high level entrepreneurship. Now, as far as job disappear, job created, I think somebody, was it Amir? I think Amir, you raised about the industrial revolution, the agricultural revolution, right?
Yep.
At the point of time, I believe if you live during the agricultural revolution, right, then you will see, oh, there goes my job, because the machine is taking over. But what we see, yeah, as those revolution comes in, the job goes higher level and higher level and higher level, and as a matter of fact, you will see a lot more jobs are actually created. So when we talk about job losses, I think we are thinking from our current perspective. We can't see yet what's going to happen in the future. Yeah, and I think inshallah, as the economy picks up back, there'll be a lot more jobs of higher value that will be created. But the question is whether we are ready or not. to actually go and fetch for those jobs. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll end up taking talent from overseas. Yeah. So the country has to prepare for its talent. So that is my sort of my recommendation, because I see a lot of in America, in UK, in Australia, right, the developed countries, their students tend to go a lot more doing postgraduate because they build more knowledge, more in-depth skills and in-depth knowledge in the area that they have passion, and that's where you will see, as Engineer Rahman earlier said, the high-level entrepreneurship will come in. Yeah, so we'll start migrating into a higher-level job. I think that's my perspective. Just to add on to my fellow panelists.
Thanks, Prof. Prof, I've been hearing that you say that go with your passion. Now, with the current situation that a lot of unemployment and going on, and a lot of need of a job, how does this particular talent should position themselves, either to go after the passion or go after the current to address a current need? So how do you assist them in these kind of situations?
That is a very tricky and very difficult question to answer. Yeah. Passion.
No, it just come across my mind that how do we do that?
I guess, Selvan, right? I guess the onus is on the person to decide. Yeah. I would imagine your passion will fall into something. Yeah. Because if you look at the needs of the world, the needs of the community, it is far wide. Now, the question is, can you relate your talent with the needs of the community? Yeah, and then you see how do you. I think Amir would be much better than me to describe, because he actually goes with his passion, right? His talent move from one area to another. Yeah, but I think he would be a better guy to actually talk about this. Yeah, so it's a question of how do you create the synergy between your passion and what the community needs. The passion will give you the strength to drive. Yeah, if you do something that you don't like, you just do it for the sake of just fulfilling the current needs. As I agree, you still get you still earn something for you to continue your life, but I bet it's not going to continue long. But you do it out of your passion and you're able to connect, right? You may be a food panda rider today, but with the knowledge you have, you'll be something else, I don't know, maybe you speak to Amir and then later, instead of doing the conventional food panda by motorbike, you send the food by drone. These are the things that is possible. But
it's possible to happen.
If you have the passion, stretch your mind to think, and you stretch your desire and ability to do more. Yeah. So that's my take. Yeah, Selvan.
Thank you, Prof. Amir, you wanna comment on that?
No, I think a lot of good points have been already mentioned. I think the key points at the end of the day is, keep an open mind. A lot of jobs. Don't worry so much about jobs, because what will come out, is stuff that you probably haven't even imagined at the moment. And perhaps maybe we are looking at this from a current lens. So I think moving forward, the as I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to mention it again, I think the future belongs to the polymaths, right? And the term polymath is really the people who are, in tune with multiple disciplines of knowledge, multiple bodies of knowledge, right? And not just one, making it very difficult to adapt moving forward. And again, so the polymaths need to be created now, and again, every individual has the potential to become their own polymath. Just be open, be adaptable with new bodies of knowledge, which are really at the end of at the end of your fingertips.
Okay. All right. We are taking one question from the participant. Can someone with a different background study want to join management department? and what skill they needed? This is from Muhammad Azraai.
Okay,
I,
so
okay.
if I can answer that,
Okay.
it really doesn't matter what your background is at the end of the day. I'll give you my own personal journey. I graduated with a degree in business. I worked in a super government agency that looked to address talent. I moved to politics and the government, and now I'm in aviation. So, and I'm obviously management here in aviation. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you study, because you will learn in your workplace as you go along. There's always on the job learning. Wherever you can, don't limit to whoever asks the question. Don't limit your imagination. Don't limit your career. You can always look at Amir. He was in a sovereign wealth fund, and now he's in drone industry. That's as good as an example as you're gonna get, how anyone can shift industries, shift profession, so to speak, when you don't limit yourself. That's really the most important thing. Don't limit yourself.
Engineer Abdul Rahman, I believe that you have climbed from total technical to the management level. So maybe that you want to share your experiences.
Okay. Again, the motivation of the people will boost up when they have some sort of challenges. Okay, that's the things that I still keep into my mind until today. So I want to address the question first. So a different background can join the management department. Yes, I agree with Jeffrey. Okay, you no need to have a very specific background to join management to join the management department. And what is the skill that you need? Basically, the management they need the ability to make other people to work together. That is very important. Okay, as a management, you must make sure that every people in your organization able to work together without any conflict. So based on my experience, from my pure experience in the technical engineering, if like Selvan already explained a little bit background about me, I'm from the technical person, then I'm going to manage the project. When you're dealing with the project, you're dealing with a lot of people, You are dealing with the multidiscipline people. So from there, I'm climbing up my career, become a project manager. And finally, just to fulfill my entrepreneurship passion, I go back to the Prof Ibrahim mentioned just now, the passion. I open up my own company, and I really go into the niche market, which is healthcare and medical device industry, which is not there is people or competitors inside the market, but there's not very encouraging in Malaysia, so that we enter into the niche market so that we can have less competitors. And after that, with that passion, even though in very hard time right now in pandemic COVID-19, because of the passion, it drives me to still keep the good momentum on my companies. Okay, so I believe don't worry so much. If you very interested to join management department, we need a lot of people to manage the people, because not easy to manage the people. So
That's totally true.
keep emphasize or keep learning the new skills and deal with a lot of people. Don't shy to ask a question, get the tips, then you're able to gain your skills, and hopefully you can join the management department later.
That's great tips that we are sharing with it. Anyone else that for the final, because we are catching up with the time. Any last word that any panel that want to share?
Selvan, if I can drop just
Yes.
a quick one.
Yep.
I think when Azraai asked, he wanted to join the management department. Yes, you can join the management department, and depending on which entry you do, right? You see, what happened was, even I am a chemical engineer. I have the same technical background. I'm an engineer, right? But as you work, right, the work that you do initially will be very technical at the very expertise level that you had. But as you go up, right, you tend to go into management. So you have to do that. You cannot run away from it. As a matter of fact, managing people, I think it's the hardest. It's better to work as an engineer and manage technical rather than manage people. Manage people is not so easy. It's difficult. So you got to have different skill set that you learn as you develop your skills. But don't be afraid, because at the end of the day, it's something that you can learn, pick up along the way. Right?
It's a human connection.
That's right. It's about managing human relation. Yeah.
Yes.
Another thing is coming back to the problem with regards to the current situation of difficulty of job, economic. But always remember, we have had economic cycle goes up and down for the last 100 over years. Yeah. Even you have seen that economy continue to go up and down. This is a cycle which every people have to go through, right? So don't lose hope, right? Hang on there, keep your faith, keep your chins up, right? Continue to do what you are good at, and inshallah, somewhere along the line, the economic cycle will pick up back. But of course, you must be ready for that. I think that is my kind of advice. Yeah.
Okay. Any other panel? Last word. And we don't have any questions from the viewer. All right. So if we don't have any questions or any additional things, let me let me put everything in a summarize. And there is no doubt that a workplace is undergoing the multifold transformations. Organizations are realizing that this a new way of working is possible, and HR team are exploring newer way in managing team as well as the talent. The new norm is here, and it's going to stay longer. All right. So we must embrace ourselves is more on the with the new norm. If there is a one major takeaway from this particular session as well as year 2020, I will say that it is always expect the unexpected, and at the same time always be open, adaptable, resilient, as well as being agile to change, no matter how rapid it hits you. So this is what I'm seeing, what I learned from year 2000 with the industries and all that. So 4 key things is be open, and this is also I'm hearing from the discussion itself. Be open, adaptability, resilient, as well as agility. All right. So with this, I would like to thank our viewers, the participants, especially our panels, answering to the questions as well as the sharing their thoughts as well as the knowledge, and to our sponsors as well as the organizer to make this particular forum to a successful one. Hope our path will come across for the next session in the near future. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day ahead. All right. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.